Welcome into First Pitch for Thursday, June 22nd. I am Drew Martin, joined today by Brian Leonard, Tokyo, Brandon, WagerTalk.com. We got big game breakdown and we got best bets coming to you, guys. You are in store on a short card here. Thursday, wanted to get the show out to you. 8-game slate, but we're getting after it here with our leadoff hitter, Brian Leonard. Brian, what do you got for big game breakdown?
We're going to take a look at the San Diego-San Francisco game today in a series that's been very telling about these two teams. San Francisco's playing great ball right now and finding ways to win. San Diego, a team, when you take a look at their roster, one of the biggest names, some of the biggest names in Major League Baseball, some of the biggest contracts in Major League Baseball, but they haven't been able to find ways to win. In fact, they've been finding ways to lose lately. Blake Snell's been on fire as of late. It all shows what you can do when you throw strikes. He has really not been a strike thrower in his career, but if you remember back when he was at Tampa Bay, that 1 year he was extremely good at throwing strikes, low ERA. He was able to go longer into the games. That's why he's been pitching lately, and he's been very good in that regard. I've mentioned this many times in the past. If you take a look at his history, no matter where he's playing, he always pitches better at home than on the road, but he's been very good on the road this year, and throwing strikes is how you can do it. You take a look at his strikeout minus walk percentage. It's elite right now. His last few starts, he's been great at that. If he can continue to pitch like that, they won't have to go to this bullpen that has really struggled as of late for San Diego. Even the closer, Hader, walked 2 batters the other night and, cost him a victory. So the team in San Diego, I'm not looking to bet on right now. If you take a look at them in games in positions in which they have runners in scoring position, I believe going into yesterday it was 197. They are the first team in history to be this far into the season with a batting average of less than 200 with runners in scoring position. They've got great players on this team. They just haven't been clutch, and I know clutch is not too many people believe in the clutch gene, but still, you've got to be able to hit in those positions. Giants are sending Wood to the mound today. He was very good coming off the IL. He's a guy who I made a lot of money on over the years in that regard because he's not in the lineup a lot because of his injuries. But when he's there, he's pitched very well. I think we see another situation here where San Diego blows it. I expect a lower scoring game here because both pitchers are coming in on fire. But I think San Francisco pulls this out in a game that is going to be pretty telling about the rest of the season here for San Diego. They can't fall too far behind. They've already been in a division with some great teams, Arizona and the Dodgers. And now San Francisco's been red hot. This is a must-win game for San Diego. But you know what I always say, if it's a must-win game, that means you must not be very good. Give me the home team, San Francisco, in this one.
Good start here from Brian Leonard. Next up from the other side of the world, his name is Brandon, and he goes by Tokyo Brandon. Brandon, what do you got here for big game breakdown?
Thanks, Drew. Yeah, for my big game breakdown, I am going to go to Washington, where the Diamondbacks are visiting the Washington Nationals. And I took a look at this line when it came out. This is one of those where you're like, what? The Diamondbacks are 10 times better than the Washington Nationals. I have no idea why this is minus 140. It might have dropped a little bit since I saw it, but still, the Diamondbacks should be like a minus 220 against this team. In 5 games, they're 4-1 against the Nationals. They beat them twice in Washington by a combined score of 16-7. They have 32 more home runs. They have, They have 20 more hits on the season. They have 32 more home runs. They're just a better team than Washington. The reason we're getting a good line here is because Arizona's starting a starter that's not so reliable, but the Nationals have Irvin on the mound. He's less reliable. Arizona has a better bullpen. In the last 10 days, the Diamondbacks' collective FIP for their bullpen is 3.18, which is really good. Washington is not so bad at 4.03, but still, Arizona has the advantage. The lineup, Arizona has a collective WOBA in the last 10 days of 348. Washington is at 304. So just everything points to the Diamondbacks here. I realize they have an unreliable starter here, but Washington's is more unreliable. So my big game breakdown, I like the Diamondbacks here over Washington. I have no idea why this line is where it's at. Either the bookmakers know something I don't know, or we're going to win this bet. So I'm putting a little money on the Diamondbacks on the money line here and take my chances.
Big game breakdown in the book here. Now it is time for best bets. Starting back at the top of the order here, Brian Leonard at B Leonard Sports on Twitter. His premium packages, wagertalk.com. Brian Leonard, what do you got here for best bets? Final thoughts for the show.
For our best bet in today's action, I'm going to take a look at that Pittsburgh-Miami game. Number one in Major League Baseball since April 30th. Been very consistent, big 5% play yesterday on the Detroit Tigers, a nice 9-4 winner. So baseball's been going very well, and keep an eye out on our plays up on the site in baseball. Your best bet today on the show will be Pittsburgh at Miami. You know, the Pirates have lost 9 straight games. All that excitement of earlier in the season, bringing up the young players, is really faded here. This is a team, if there's anybody that uses the 40-man roster at Pittsburgh, they've tried every guy on their roster to be able to find the right combinations. They just haven't been able to find it. They get the nice homer games every once in a while from Switzky and some others, but this is a team right now struggling. And the only guys on the team that are playing well, in my regard, for Pittsburgh are today's starter, Mitch Keller, and the closer. Other than that, they've got a team that's really struggling offensively, and as I mentioned, lost 9 straight. Mitch Keller's been on a run, taking a lot of money in. The wise guys like to bet on him, and he's really playing well this year. Like the way it's all coming around for Mitch Keller. But while everybody recognizes what Mitch Keller has done, take a look at what Braxton Garrett has done. Basically the same thing. You take a look at the strikeout minus walk ratios, which has made Keller so good this year. That's Braxton Garrett. Braxton Garrett had one bad start all season long, and like many young players, if the bullpen is worn out, your manager asks you to stay out on the mound, and he got lit up one game. Other than that, he's been great all season. In fact, even with that one blow-up, he's got a 3.88 ERA, 1.22 WHIP. His xFIP is 2.96, Sierra 3.27. So we've got more positive regression going for Braxton Garrett here. I mentioned the strikeout and walk percentage. Both these guys have been terrific as of late, so I expect a low-scoring game, especially with this Pittsburgh offense struggling like it is. But I'm very surprised this line is where it is. I sent this over last night. It has gone up a little bit on Miami, but Braxton Garrett at home. Miami's playing much better. While we see Pittsburgh on the long losing streak, Miami's playing great. Why isn't this line higher? It's going higher. So get this one in right now. Give me Miami minus the current number, and expect this line to go even higher. So get this one in quick. Give me Miami.
Next up here, our 2-hole hitter, Tokyo Brandon, straight from Tokyo. Brandon, what do you got for best bets?
Yeah, thanks. I'm going actually with my best bet, the same game Brian went with. In the last 3 days, I'm on an 11-1 MLB team total win streak. I'm number one in profit MLB the last 3 days, the last 7 days, and the last 30 days. So running pretty hot here. And I do have a team total in this game that I'd like to go for. So I agree with most of what Brian said, except the fact that I am not high on Keller at all. Actually, in his last 3 games, he's given up 10 runs, and he's been giving up a lot of runs to soft hitting teams. He gave up 5 to the Oakland A's. He gave up 6 to Seattle just about a month ago. So Miami is a good hitting team. Miami doesn't get credit for their hitting, but in the last 10 days, their collective WOBA is 315, which is a little bit above average of the major league average. So Miami's a pretty good hitting team. Keller, I'm not so high on him. He does get a lot of strikeouts. He's averaging more than 7 strikeouts per outing, which is good, but he's allowing a lot of contact. He just gave up 4 runs to Milwaukee in his last start. He's giving up a lot of runs to soft hitting teams. And another reason why, I'll just give the play out right now, it's Miami over 3.5. Another reason why I like the Miami team total over is because Pittsburgh's bullpen in the last 10 days has been atrocious. So I think Keller is susceptible to giving up some runs to this good Miami lineup. And I also think the Pittsburgh bullpen is just absolutely atrocious. and Miami can take advantage of that. In the last 10 days, their collective FIP for Pittsburgh's bullpen is 5.68, which is third worst in the major league in the league. So yeah, I'm all over this team total. Hey, I'm 11-1 in my last 3 days in team totals. So chances are I can cash this one as well. I do have a couple red flags on it, so I'm not making it a huge play, but a small percent, put some shekels on Miami Marlins to get over 3.5. Another nice thing is they're on the road, so they're guaranteed 9 innings of at bats. Running hot in team totals, and this is another one I think will continue the streak. Miami Marlins over 3.5 is my best bet.
Guys, for my best bet, I am on the Tampa Bay Rays at home here in Tampa, or actually St. Petersburg, I should say. Part of the reason, guys, is their home record 32-8 on the season, and they got one of, if not, actually, if you're giving me one pitcher to pick for one game, I would pick Shane McClanahan. Therefore, we get the best team and the best pitcher up against arguably the worst team in MLB. If you go by the record at this moment, they're the second worst team in MLB. So we get one of the worst versus the best record-wise. You are what your record says you are. I am jumping on the Tampa Bay Rays. Guys, we are pre-recording this, so this is in the overnights here, but we do have a minus 230 on the money line. They are the home team here, and we also have a minus 1.5, minus 110. Therefore, I'm going to split the bet here and go the -1 line. Some sports books out there have -1 lines, but what you can do if you're a $100 better, bet 100 or bet $50 on Tampa Bay minus the money line, and bet $50 Tampa Bay minus the run line. And that will get you about where you need to be for the -1 line. And that is the Rays. I'm listing Shane McClanahan here as the starter. We don't want any funny business with him not starting, laying this price. But give me the Rays. I think it's short on the number up against the Royals. So overall, guys, my best bet, Tampa Bay Rays. Thursday slate here starting early. So that does it for the first pitch show here. 8-game slate on the Thursday card. For Brian Leonard, Tokyo, Brandon, cash those tickets, smash that like button. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll talk on Friday, 2 o'clock Eastern.